We're back to talking about this, and this is probably totally more children. And probably last year, you know yourself, there was hundreds of children. Over the last few years, there's hundreds of children that have gone missing, unaccounted for. And this is only from the beginning of this year, as it says. 30 children have pretty much disappeared. To be totally, that's the way to put it, literally disappeared, they're nowhere to be found. Two, so the Irish state, the God of Shin O'Connor doesn't know where they are. Nobody knows where they are. And again, you probably are wondering to yourself, people from outside Ireland, what is TUSLA, the Child and Family Protection Agency? They are supposed to care for children, say for example in abuse situations or in trafficking situations, they look after the children until they find a new home. So what is happening here, and to put it nicely, in the nicest possible term, TUSLA is definitely committing human trafficking, because there's no way that hundreds of children, because we still don't know, there's hundreds of children missing from the last few years. This is only this so far this year that we know of. So who knows where the other children is? Where's the children? Roderick O'Gunn was the Minister for Children. We still don't know where all them children was when he was on his watch, when he was on the watch of the Minister for Children. Where were the children, Roderick? Because he never answered that question. Where are all these children that went missing under his leadership? I don't know who is the Minister for Children now, but there's very huge concern here, because these are vulnerable children that maybe were trafficked into the state. In some cases, maybe led away from abusive parents into care of the state. And this is in the care of the state, just to say, these children. They're not like been left on the side of the road and just left there. They're in the care of the state. They've been paid for pretty much to be looked after by you and me. And it's far past incompetence, because it couldn't be incompetence, because literally it's been happening in the last few years. There could be about 300 or 400 children missing that we know of the last few years, because we don't know, they won't tell us. This is probably only half of what they're telling us, because let's be fair, people be very angry about this, and people should be very angry, because how TUSLA doesn't know where these people are is a mystery. It really is a mystery how you don't know where these children are, because literally, if you go into a doctor's, if you go into any kind of job in the morning, government job or whatever it may be, or if you're applying for any kind of course or anything, I had to fill out a health and safety form, and Jesus Christ, they nearly would ask you, where did you go to the toilet last? And that's only a health and safety form for work in the local authority. So imagine what a form is for taking care of a child and looking after a child's needs that's under the care of the state. Surely they must have in some reports that in some of the files they have that the child's in this house, or he's been looked after by here, or he's been put here, or whatever. But again, the only answer is that they've been trafficked. There's no other way of putting it. They've been trafficked out of the state. Human trafficking, and the state seems to be complicit in it, to be totally honest. In every possible thing, but it's insane. And some of them are probably undocumented. Yeah, like who've arrived in the state without parents and stuff. But some are Irish citizens too that have just had bad parents that abused them and treated them poorly, and they were liberated probably by TUSLA, and then TUSLA pretty much sent them away to whoever knows where. But I hope to God, because again, we haven't heard anything about when Roderick O'Gunn was Minister for Children. There was hundreds of children missing. We still haven't heard what happened there. Like, it's not being talked about. This should be talked about every night of the week on the news. This should be brought up every 5 minutes of the day. Where are these children? Like, that's the question that should be asked to TUSLA at the moment, and to Leo, like to Simon Harris and Micheál Martin. Where are the children? Where are they? Explain. Simple answer. Where are they? We want an answer, because we do want an answer, because where are they? Never mind anything else. Where is these children? Where are these vulnerable children? What has the state done with them? Because we want to know. The Irish people deserve to know. Everybody deserves to know. These children deserve to be found wherever they are. If they're in difficulty, please God to win a nice, safe environment. But who knows? Because it's a very worrying state that we don't know where they are. First of all, we should know where they are. Then the state's care. It's different if they're in somebody else's care. But this is not the first time it's happened, just to say. And again, that's what worries me. It'd be different if this happened, it was a one-off incident and it never happened again. But literally last year we had the same crack, and then the year before we had the same crack. For the last few years we had the same crack. And this has happened all the time. By the end of the year there could be 100 children gone missing. God only knows where they are, but I hope to be found. But this is a very worrying, and everybody should be telling their TDs and asking them this simple question. Where are these children? Where are they? My local TDs, where is Niamh Smith, a junior minister? Niamh Smith, where are these children? I would like to know where these children are. You're a junior minister. We need answers to this. Where are they? Because regardless of who you are, TD or whatever party, you should be kicking in the door of TUSLA to find out where are these children. You should be kicking in the door from Garda Síochána O'Connor to say, where are these children? Because that's what needs to be asked. Where are these children? Asking hard questions, tough questions. Because TUSLA doesn't want to answer, the state doesn't want to answer, nobody seems to want to answer this question. Where are all these missing children going missing to? Nobody seems to want to answer that question. And it needs to be asked. Anyway, let me know what you think. Hopefully, again, as I say, these children will be found. But we don't know, as I say, about the last years. We don't know what's happened. We know about 1 or 2 cases, but that's about it. So it's very worrying. It's very concerning. It should be concerning to every citizen in the country that this kind of carry on has happened. It shouldn't be going on. But hopefully they are found safe and sound. But please God, they will be. Thank you.